Today I'm going to be listing out every single solo world record holder across all the Treyarch games. There are going to be two different categories I break this into: the combined record holder maps and the outright owner of the maps. If you wish to see the other games, let's get this video to 50 likes. Can't stress this enough that this is a quick look through, and if you wish to know certain strategies for different maps, leave a comment down below as I can pull up a guide to help out. Other than that, let's get straight into this. We'll kick things off by quickly going over the multiple world record holders. For these, I'll say the map and what is the main strategy for obtaining the joint record. For all of these BO7 and BO6 maps, there are tons of guides for the specific augments you want to run. However, I'm just going to quickly go over the strat itself. Basically, for this 999, you want to bring the car or the old Tessie to farm. Then you would use the truck and the lasers until the car breaks. Here's a quick clip of what to do after this, since I don't feel like explaining it, but shout out to Decal since this is the footage I'm using here to display the best strategy on the map. Someone who has a career 0 seconds on Black Ops 7, I have no idea what to even call this. It looks like bro is camping in a bush, shooting a wonder weapon and walking back and forth. All respect to these men for getting these records here. 114 hours of this is worse than 24 hours in prison, and I'll stand by that. Shout out to IV for making a very detailed guide on how to play this map. But from the casual perspective, aka me, this looks like sitting in a corner, then using a robot looking thingy, taking a boat to a deserted island, purchasing something you clearly are out of ammo for, then repeat. Let me know in the comments if you like playing BO6. Nothing wrong with that, but we may not get along that well. There were a lot of different strategies I noticed for this map, from what players ran at the beginning of this game's timeline on the roof to playing in a bowling alley to whoever the heck this is by Sparks. This record is the most recent, so I assumed it's the fastest strat. I seriously couldn't care less about this game. Now this is peak male performance right here, sitting on a cabinet and watching the zombies perish in rapid succession. Again, there will be links in the description for the best strategies for all of these maps. Truly the most brain-numbing gameplay I've seen since Revelations, which we'll get to in a bit. It's cool and all that the Winter's Howl is the best weapon on the map. However, you might be able to get a 999 on this map with a blindfold on after setup. I mean, look at this performance. Incredible indeed. Now arrived my least knowledgeable map ever. I'm serious when I say this. The first time I looked at this map was while making this video. Starters, I see the WAF and it reminds me of all the blank shots back in the day. It looks more enjoyable than the Tomb, so at least that's a positive. Last and certainly not least, we have the Reckoning. I'd reckon slamming your toes on a George Foreman grill is more enjoyable. Definitely not from experience. It's sick looking through a doorway for over 100 hours though, unloading bullets into the undead. For the Cold War records, you're able to create a class and use different field upgrades to get to around 935. All strats are in the description once again. By the looks of it, it appears you go upstairs from the spawn room and use the ray gun to kill zombies. The only reason this works is because of the health cap on the game. Finally, a strategy that looks at least a little bit more enjoyable. This one was done by the Go MC Zombie Slayer, and it appears you shoot down a tight corridor in order to eliminate the zombies. I also find it hilarious that Cold War has these pop up on the screen like you were playing BO2 multiplayer. After round 10, I would already be sick of these. I see a war machine and I'm already intrigued. Not a fan of sitting by a bench to purchase equipment constantly, but if I was going to play a map on Cold War again, this is probably the first one I'd attempt and learn how to do. This looks interesting once again. Pretty sure the first flamethrower strat since WAW Verruckt. What is up with these strats taking places in random ass doorways? Shout out to the elite spawn control, I guess. Main strategy has to deal with the junction strategy where you slam a sword, occasionally shoot the apothecant for safety, and use I-Car Blast Furnace with KRM turn, and use L-Car Blast Furnace with KRM Thunderwall. Fun fact, the WAF is coded into this map so Deadwire doesn't force drops, and Turned is banned on this map with this strategy. Why? I don't know. There are a couple different strategies that are viable for this map, but the easiest of them all has to be running the WAF and spawn with RK5 Blast Furnace and Shiva Turned. Running this to 100 was diabolical, but 255 it seems like a real prison sentence. The main strategy has to do with sitting at the top of the stairs in church, since it has the best spawn control while using the Stormbow. Shout out to Ragnaroks as well for being as busted as ever. It is one of the more underrated ways to kill zombies with a skull. KT4 has more to be desired, but training in the skull room can be very challenging, especially with crazy spawns out of the ground. Shout out to the Trashers for TKOing me a couple times. By far one of my least knowledgeable maps on all Black Ops 3. Back then, it wasn't smart to shoot in any of the Valkyries to avoid crashing, but I don't think that is the case anymore. Main strat is in the shield room, and it looks rather enjoyable to try out sometime. If this video gets 100 likes, I'll seriously consider going for a 255 on this. This is where literally hundreds of people would sit in the Verruckt box area and run a 2-window strat with a trap right to their left with a very favorable gum location. You don't have to move outside of a football field's length on this map. Seriously consider putting a blanket over your monitor to see if you can get 255 once completely set up. Shout out to the blue cubes for being really annoying, giving you an eye strain. Surprisingly only done in classics, but is very easy in Mega Gobblegums itself. You would start off in the alley area once getting set up, then move up to the M8 trap location to finish the remaining rounds. For Megas, you could theoretically run spawn the entire game, and it wouldn't take much longer since you get dogs as well. The only 255 I have in my career, so I can tell you up front, it's super simple. Stay in power room as long as you can until Thundergun ammo becomes an issue, then you go down to the spawn room and double AAT on the lander. Very boring though. This one requires the wave gun, deadwire, and turned on the nearby weapons. Yes, I was too lazy to look it up, but you sit against this one window, deadwire the astronaut when he makes his appearance, use Gershes to force drops, and the hacker to hack all drops to max ammos. Very simple, but hacking the excavators could be troubling for newer players. This is going to come in as a shocker, said no one, but the main play for this map is to use the ice staff in the fire tunnel until it stops being effective. Then you migrate over to the bottom of the excavation site and start double AATing with deadwire and turned. The Panzers mid-round can still be a problem, but overall a pretty chill 255. The final joint record is on Black Ops 2 Buried. Yes, there are multiple people that have hit round 255 on this map. The main strategy has a lot to do with the subsurface resonator and turbine combo in the saloon area. There's also a strat you can use the trample steam for, but that one comes down with extreme mobility and practice. We now arrive to the outright world record holders. This is where we'll be going into a little bit more detail of what the player actually did and how you could potentially beat it with future runs. Starting things off with BO7 Totenreich, held by Nate the Great. There may be another person who hits 999 on this map, but this is my video, so tough scene. Anyways, from the 6.9 seconds I was able to watch before throwing up profusely, I see a lot of fire swaying from side to side and dual-wield pistols. Outside of the pistols part, it reminds me a lot of what a trip of Hawaii would look like. Yeah, someone managed to get to round 999 on BO7 farm. I'm truly at a loss of words, but all respect goes to Fear CB for obtaining this record. This record looks a lot more complex for this video, but I've noticed tomahawks being thrown, so you know he's definitely a gamer. If I'm not mistaken, DKL has every single 999 on BO6 and BO7, however, he isn't a fan of ZWR as most gamers, so Zombies to Kill is technically the only person to have a 999 on the map, but DKL made a great guide for this map as well. This looks very diabolical since he is shooting a rocket launcher at his feet repeatedly. No, I'm not kidding, just look at this elite performance. I literally forgot to write a description on this map as I went to record. Thankfully, I think I could have spared us all 30 seconds since this strategy is already starting to give me a migraine. Sitting on top of a bench to purchase more ammo, I assume, while shooting a rocket launcher at your feet. Sick dude, but remains one of 2 records on Black Ops 7 to not have a 999. This wonder weapon looks rather interesting. I see a black hole reminding me of Gersh devices, but once again, sitting by a workbench to obtain equipment constantly is rather boring. Record is only 166, so I challenge the BO7 fans to beat this one. I'm starting to see a common theme here with Nate the Great. Nuketown Remake received a lot of feedback, and most of it was surprisingly not completely negative. Of course, there was still some people out there, but this strategy reminds me a lot of the Tomb, standing in the same-ish spot and absolutely railing the zombies back to their respective graves. Is this really what people like to play on Cold War? It looks a lot like if Domination and Team Deathmatch had a baby and then fell down the stairs a couple of times. I'm not hating, just observing here. Not sure how long this game is, but flipping the round counter of 10:24 twice is crazy work. Shout out to Try It Out, but I am not trying out this map. It's now time to enter a phase that I call ZWR sucks. Shout out to the Zombie Guru for giving me the most accurate sheet for all the BO4 records and helping me understand what makes BO4 fun. Also, quick note, the round timer resets 1 round after 255, so that's why it says round 86 in the corner for 342. Most BO4 players put plus 256 right next to the round. IMZ used the Circuit's Kiss, or the Death of Orion, and AAT explosions on Catalyst, along with traps to get up to the instas. For insta rounds, they used the KN57, and I believe the Maddox to camp the Cursed Room. After instas, the Death of Orion can kill, so he was only using AAT and trap. He used Viper in a slow place, as well as being offline, so only 5 perks, not 6. Each Catalyst has an AAT. It's weak to which does a small AoE infinite damage explosion when you kill them with that AAT. He also mentioned that the Blaze phase was very important. Only way to save yourself when trapped besides using Specialist or anywhere but here. BO4 Voyage of Despair, held by Z-Taker 345. This isn't the same Z-Taker from the Knock No Gum game. From what I'm understanding, Z-Taker has a very unoptimized game since he turned a 160-hour game into a 206-hour game. According to Jake from State Farm, it might actually be better to use Luna modifier like an AE, using Wrath Fires to save ammo runs and waiting on Kraken shots, basically, as well as using the Ice Kraken at that spot too. Each round only 3 of the 4 catalyst types will spawn, so if you don't have electric catalyst, you need to use the Ice Kraken since you refill Kraken ammo by killing them with it. My head is already hurting with all this new information. Black Ops 4 Blood of the Dead world record is held by Daybreak with a 468 game. Daybreak would stay in this game for 10 months, almost a year straight of leaving his PlayStation 4 on, coming back day after day to the same game, but this averages to about an hour a day. Daybreak had to switch strategies on insta-kill rounds, and even the fastest insta-kill strategy was slower than the normal round strat. He ran the same strategy as Venoms on the normal rounds, but on instas he would go to the cafeteria where the zombies spawned from 3 windows. He was totally invincible on these rounds as none of the zombies spawning could actually come out of their windows and ever reach him. Although there is a new insta strat that I'm not sure if anyone has ever used in a real game yet. The other optimization is setting up before dog rounds with the Redeemer quest. Blood of the Dead dogs are 5 to 13, but you can make them 5 to 7. Black Ops 4 Classified is held by Endless Madness of 276. You now have 5's younger cousin with the map Classified. I've been informed that most of these Mega games end to a disconnect since the game is played online. Mega's high run on normal map makes every map rev because of the Helion Salvo. You just have an absurd amount of ammo. You can also use the Winter's Howl and Wrath Fire at your feet to extend your ammo a lot. With Power Vacuum being legal amongst other gums, it's to try not to fall asleep challenge. Black Ops 4 Dead of the Night held by Will 519. This is the only record that is currently being played. Link down below for Will's channel, as well as the updated record for when the game concludes. Anyways, the strat once again has infinite ammo with a Helion Salvo by refilling silver bullets. He is camping the master bedroom and running to the library when he runs out. And he has some kind of Chaos Story monkey bomb which he throws every time he buys ammo. Jake says I think, but damn it, I'm willing to admit it when I haven't even seen it. There's some sort of specialist being used here. On Classified, the Overkill periodically makes an appearance. Black Ops 4 Ancient Evil held by White Reggie with a 528 game. This game is missing gameplay, so we have a little asterisk on this game. Quick note that the next highest round would be 452. Anyways, basically he just camped at the Temple of Apollo using Sharon, the Viper, and Pegasus strikes to get through rounds and doing tributes for ammo when he runs out. There's a lot of BS that happens with Catalyst on hardcore because of ice zombies buffing health, but that's not relevant here. On insta rounds, he just camped the shield table with Tortoise, which is basically God mode, and all rounds 362 plus are instas on hardcore. He also would be using the Spa Trap while waiting on the tributes, since about half of the tributes you cannot progress on high rounds. Black Ops 4 Alpha Omega held by Max Mortar of 304 with round 304. A lot of people telling me that this is the best version of Nuketown made me take a shower while filming this video. According to Inside Source, it's just camping the balcony with a trench gun Helion and Overkill Nova Bombers since they snipe you from the sidelines. You can wrath the ground under the climb up for free kills, and you have to do the ammo run without teleporting because it builds up to an air. This just shows how every little thing counts when designing a map. The final Black Ops 4 map, Tag Der Toten, is held by Wilda with a round 628 game. Calls this map Next Gen Call of the Dead, so I'll allow it. So for this map, you use the Tundra gun in the one window on the bridge and chain yellow snowballs to get 90 kills per shot, while using Secret Sauce to obtain Bandit for more ammo when running out. For insta-kill rounds, he sat at the climb up on the sun deck and he switched Bandit to Ethereal Razor, Who Gives a Hellraiser. He did turn on Pap at a very light round 586, which lets him play insta rounds inside the one window using Wrath Fires in the Trebukit and doing ammo runs for that, and then he froze on round 628 from what Jake believed to be an early error from Pap but can't be proven. Doesn't this whole thing sound fun? We now enter the Black Ops 3 records, and the first one is held by my guy, Packed Punch, with the only legitimate round 255 on Nacht Der Untoten. This truly is the best map of Black Ops 3. No, not really, I'm just doing it because there's a certain fantasy among us. The way Packed ran it was very chalked and outdated, so here's a quick way to play faster. Run Raindrops to have all 8 perks, run Spawn Room only, and your game is already 20 hours faster. I'd recommend going Shiva Deadwire and RK5 Turn just because the RK5 is not in a favorable wall buy location. You'll thank me later for this one. Black Ops 3 Verruckt, Ganon Snipes round 255 Classics. Previously held by a certain Spliced Cat, but by far the most impressive record on Black Ops 3. After running Speed Cola Room, you could run low on WAF ammo. It turns into a double trap strat whilst running American Ninja Warrior around the zombies waiting for traps to recharge. I mean, just look at this insane gameplay you have to do for over 100 hours. Black Ops 3 Shi No Numa, Faded, Z, and Ganon 255. This map just shows that Black Ops 3 players are different. 255s on this map are in a classic and a no-gum game, so there's a free record for Shi No Numa 255 megas. Anyway, shout out to the map developers for making it impossible to see the trap being active after round 50. Without the trap timers, this would be absolutely horrendous, but I had to include both of these games since these are, well, insane. Basically just rotate Alchem around to refill WAW ammo and use IPS and anywhere but here when needed for classics. For megas, double AAT and WAW safety shots outside of the flogger at Fishing Hut. Sounds horrendous. BO3 Shangri-la, once again by Ganon Snipes 248 classics. Another 255 that was possible at the time, but the naughty kitty had to cheat once again. No, not that kitty, you sick. Current record is unoptimized according to a player that is on the Mount Rushmore of Black Ops 3, by the way. Ganon stated that he was thinking that having the fountain open might extend the reset closer to 74 hours, but it looks like you'll have to use the minecart and do the max ammo Easter egg to get closer to 74 hours. I do believe there will be a 255 megas before a classic game, but who knows? This 248 is going on to be 3 years old in August, so maybe there won't be a 255 on the map. Now time to head into Black Ops 2, aka the Golden Era, as most of these maps don't have a joint record, outside of Buried, of course. Black Ops 2 Transit, Destroyer ZP with his round 249 game. I finally get to learn how this record came to be. For the longest time, 200 was looking more and more impossible because of hunk air, bus air, etc. Wonderful has a very detailed world record history video on it, but the main objective is to use the jet gun glitch, limit the amount of denizens, and stand at the specific spots to make sure the bus doesn't stop. This map has a 120-hour reset, so 255 is more than a possibility. Black Ops 2 Bus Depot, Blasters of around 91. Shout out for the 2-player record being 92 on this, by the way. This record is 4 years old for a reason. Not only is it incredibly boring to play for a potential 140-hour reset, but it is truly difficult with no perks in a 2-hit down game. The only way to get a higher round is to have a great box luck by pulling the Ray Gun Mark II and Ray Gun, try not to get bored, and play extremely cautious. Black Ops 2 Town, Chris Voltage of round 100. This record is closing in on 7.5 years old. This might be the most popular world record on Black Ops 2, and there's only one game that I can recall that would have beaten Chris's round 100 by 2 rounds, and you hear a lot about this player later. The quickest way to play this map is to keep the jug door closed and play no jug since it was better spawn control. A 2-round improvement doesn't sound like a lot, but that takes about 15 hours to complete from round 100 to 102. No thank you, but shout out to Sluya. Black Ops 2 Farm of round 96 held by Chris Voltage. From my limited research, it doesn't look like many people have been going for this record, and I don't believe 100 is possible without Pack-a-Punch. Wouldn't recommend anyone trying to beat this record since the replayability is extremely low. You have to do a porch jump glitch to hit the box, probably in the worst location on the map, and you have to rely on RNG. Tough scene all around. For the longest time, I didn't think the 3-way tie of round 96 would ever be beaten until Ever HN finally broke through and got a 97. This map is about the same as the other green run maps by hitting for Ray Gun Mark II first box to avoid fire sales and prey on good RNG once again. Maybe 98 is possible, but not having consistent spawn control for 180 hours sounds really rough on the mentals. Black Ops 2 Die Rise held by Issue with round 219. Finally, a map where the round 100 strat doesn't make you go mentally insane, but this is about the high round record. Once the Sliquifier turns into a verified P shooter, you have to use the trample steam since it's the only way to infinitely kill zombies. It is a very tight area to train, so maybe 220 in the future with better jumping jack rounds. I'm just speculating there, but let me know in the comments. Black Ops 2 Mob of the Dead held by BDZ Kezia, sorry for butchering that if I did, with around 240 game. We get to a map that is top 2 on Black Ops 2. Take your pick between Mob and Origins in the comment section below. So the current record of 240 ran double tap to round 64, then moved into the cafeteria for the high round strat, using Hell's Retriever to take out certain stray zombies while letting the acid trap kill the remaining zombies. I heard that there was a Lonely Fan strat by the Warden's office, but just like all things, it takes time. The final Black Ops 2 record is on Origins held by VenGX with around 179 game. I was today years old learning how technical this map has become. It went from using ice staff to around 112 to waiting for the tank to run over zombies to constantly turning on and off a generator to kill the Templar zombies who count as actual zombies in the game. I'm truly stunned, but this community constantly amazes me with finding new ways for higher rounds and breaking the game. We're now on to a new era as we get to the most competitive zombies game in Call of Duty history and one of the most nostalgic maps on Black Ops 1 Kino Der Toten, which the record is held by Sluya with around 240 game. I've actually made a video going over a few different high round strat histories, and that playlist will be in the description down below. From the stage to the speed cola room to the fire trap. trap strat. The record is 4 years old, so there probably is a way to optimize this game. I've heard trade strat possibly being implemented. Black Ops 1 5 held by Jermaine Cubes around 244. I have to clarify that the 237 to 244 footage has been removed due to some BS about copyright. YouTube needs to be better in this field. Just pay off the artist and keep the footage up. I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince you on how to get a higher round than the self-proclaimed 5 King. You have to play at a similar SPH and pray for better dock rounds to avoid missing insta-kill rounds. Most of us have a better chance of becoming president of the United States than breaking this record. Black Ops 1 Ascension held by Furret with around 244. My personally least favorite record on Black Ops 1. It is possible to go higher than 244, but if this game does not have any game audio has me raising my eyebrows. Innocent until proven guilty, but basically needing a really good Thunder Gun and Gersh average, playing M16 instas just as fast, if not faster than Furret, and then try to get less missed insta rounds with good monkey round RNG, aka a whole lot of things out of the player's control. Black Ops 1 Call of the Dead held by Prompt with around 105, a record that truly broke the COD community as it took over 13 years to finally get around 100 on the map solo. Co-op is a lot higher and it always will be since the upgraded VR11 gives the player 10 seconds of insta-kill when they shoot their teammate with it. As impressive as this record is, it got a whole lot more technical than trading out for scavengers, ray guns, and VR11s. Wonderful has made a very detailed video about this record and it'll be in the description next to Prompt's montage. Not sure if someone will push for a 110 solo, but best of luck watching zombies despawn in the cave area for all the soldiers. BO1 Shangri-la held by HGM Rick with around 208 game, a record that was held by one of the Titans for a long time until HGM Rick broke through. After months of failing, he finally made history, carrying AK-74U instas and kept the door between the AK room and stand room closed. The perfect mixture of trading, tight training, and pure skill to pull this off. No max ammo rounds, aka dogs or monkeys, so it's a 70-hour game of pure sweating and locked in. BO1 Moon held by Furret 252. By far the most enjoyable map to high round on Black Ops 1. Can have up to 8 maxes around thanks to the hacker in Area 51, a one-window strategy, trapping the astronaut, the whole 9. This strategy is very satisfying to watch, but a 255 will happen on this map at some point, but it'll probably have to be Furret. Black Ops 1 Nacht Der Untoten held by Hype with around 150. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what is on my screen right now? This is very simple. Do not play Nacht of any kind. In all seriousness, better optimizing your 30 SR, Thompson usage, and a better trade average. You only have 2 hits since no QR and no other perks outside of Mule Kick. Good luck, you filthy animal. BO1 Verruckt held by Sluya with around 227. One of the newer records as it occurred in November of 2025. With all the new tech and strats, this map got put into its place by arguably the greatest Black Ops 1 player ever. I can confidently say this record won't be beaten unless a new strategy is discovered. I almost want to put a $1,000 bounty on it, but I'll pass. Black Ops 1 Shi No Numa held by Tails Can Fly with around 235. So huge disclaimer here, the unofficial world record is 237 held by Mango, but I can't find it anywhere, so hopefully someone can clear the error of the description. The play is to camp in storage hut, activate the trap for rounds until WAF ammo starts to be a problem, then you run a variety of trap strats and refill WAF ammo with dog rounds. There is a strat I can't say on YouTube without getting demonetized, but it has to do with standing inside the flogger trap. The final Black Ops 1 map of Der Riese is held by Sluya with around 250 game. I would never thought a trap strategy map would be pushed into the 250s. Obviously trading up the WAF would be a faster strat, but relying that much on RNG would cause a migraine to say the least. In July of 2021, this record was set. It'll probably be another 4 years until someone finds out a new meta to break this insane record. It's now the final game where zombies started back in 2008. Starting things off with WAW Nacht Der Untoten held by Krups of 8,817. One of the more down-to-earth guys that used to be in the community until one video tore him apart. Not relevant to the story, but just like all other versions of Nacht, walking around aimlessly and burning hours. However, this version is different since there are only 24 zombies around. After round 163, different rounds become insta rounds and you are able to kill them with the Thompson, while other rounds require using the flamethrower. WAW Verruckt held by Dab Easter with his 5,679 game. Same thing with Verruckt here, with the flamethrower being the main way to kill zombies. However, you are given electric traps to also kill the zombies. Keep in mind that all these World at War records have to be played flawlessly for solo players, since Quick Revive was useless for solo on World at War. WAW Shi No Numa held by Unique with 12,690. Since it's taking me so long to write this script, I'm sorry to inform Night Stealth as he no longer holds the record on this map, as Unique came back to reclaim his record 3 days ago on July 2nd, 2026. He beat Stealth health record by 182 rounds. Very special indeed, but the new strat is to camp at Doctor's Quarters Hut and use the infamous 2020 strat, it appears. Not my cup of tea, but it takes a lot of patience, and congratulations to Unique for reclaiming his record. WAW Der Riese, held by Tails Can Fly, around 194. I would still say Verruckt is more difficult than this map, but accidentally hitting yourself with the WAW is absolutely devastating since it stunts your health for the remainder of the game. WAW Der Riese is the first map that used the normal zombie calculator instead of the original 24 zombies around. Looks like Tails used triple trap strat, but since the BO1 record is all the way up to 250, it may just be possible to see a 200 on this map at some point. I felt like I've been talking forever, but if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the video on the end screen where I pointed out the worst zombie feature in every single zombie map in COD history, including the Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare maps. But other than that, I appreciate y'all watching. Peace.